Hi, everybody. Hi, this is Joanna from the Early Morning Ascension Show. How is everybody? We're going to do a really short video because I know my last couple of ones have been kind of long. There's been so much to talk about and so much information about Ascension, and really helping inspire each and every one of you that find our videos and our work to really empower you, inspire you, and encourage you to reclaim who you are as a multidimensional being. And when you start to move upon this beautiful path of self-actualization, of really working with who you are as a multidimensional being and the all that is your alliance, you really come into a new fullness of who you are, really feeling the fullness of who you are, and knowing that you've got help and assistance in everywhere that you walk. Spirit will show you the new connections and the new entanglements and engagements that you have and you are with Spirit as Spirit. And it's one in the all. It's the micro macro. So what I wanted to talk about is I had a little quick post on our YouTube community channel this morning because I forgot to mention one important part that they gave me as a download last night was I just had a huge yawning. Oh, the spirit trying to move through me. These huge changing the energies that we have been going through. I talked a little bit about it last night, but how a lot of the energies are going to start affecting us when we are connecting with the energy of Gaia, those of us that are good workers, those of us that are healers, biosphere, teachers, naturopathy. We connect in a natural way our psychic systems, our intuitive systems, our multidimensional gifts and tools that are now coming online as the more and more you're clearing. We're leveling up because we're in new templates. So we are leveling up with new psychic gifts and abilities, which immediately and successively, because remember, evolution is succession, you are a succession vessel of multidimensional light. Therefore, how you're interacting with the planet, how you're interacting with aspects of the information that's held within the codons of your DNA, using that mother and father energy systems that you are. When something comes forward, review it, reflect upon it, observe it, seek within whatever beliefs you've had about those issues and triggers, and then spiral in a new experience of now, so that as each and every one of these soul fragments or soul aspects of your journeys of ascension, what you're meant to transform and transcend, you start weaving in these new experiences of who you are. And all of these types of triggers, these little pockets of you in the spiral of now, they come forward to be reharmonized, to be accepted, to be acknowledged, to be brought back into the harmony of all that you are. It's no different than the micro macro of all of the universe that is the universe. But that does give you new gifts in which you read your environment, you read the flora and the fauna of the planet. You're meant to have these gifts come online to assist in the new inventiveness and the new offerings of how we move into deeper oneness and symbiosis with our planet. Also, too, for the first immediate part of our ascension, our planet's information and biosphere will be used as a tempering tool, a healing tool, to help us with the many advanced diseases that we've created and manifested just because of the low vibrational consciousness. As we raise in consciousness, much of those densities will be cleared because your body will be of such light that it won't magnetize the experiences that energy of disease is, because the disease energy is a low vibrational experience. Just because of what's held in the chakras and in the bodies and the thought forms, the mental bodies, they're diseased thoughts and patterns and beliefs and controls. Therefore, the light cannot get into the DNA, cannot get into, well, the DNA is activated by the light, but the cells in your body not clearing, it's like a clogged system. The light cannot enter something that's clogged. And so it will just impede and delay and make the experience very rough. I did also post a good video on our YouTube community page about the 3-day shift, the 3 days of darkness. So the more aware you are and the more education you have about it, it's nothing to fear, but there's things that you want to keep in mind and keep attuned for, so that you ensure that you are preparing. That's why we've been talking about this for many years, and why the Ascension did start in a more prolific social experience since 2012. So Gaia does have her natural evolutionary process because she is a natural element planet within the divine galaxy, and every planet has its own evolutional cycle, has its own blueprint cycle, and she's been held back for quite some time just because of the density on our planet. And that video really does tell a lot about the history of Gaia, the experiments that were done on Gaia to see with human life, how far separated we could maintain ourselves to heal the transcending limitations of fear and control and return ourselves back to source. And so too is Gaia. And those that are divine feminine, like myself, part of the download last night was knowing that your body is going to change, especially if you're divine feminine or of divine masculine, in a greater part of your divine feminine energies, just because you hold a lot of that divine feminine energy. And it's very purposeful. Those of you that are holding a lot of divine feminine energy and the energy shifts that Gaia is going to be going through, it will be a really internal shift for you. I've talked about it on the community tab of the YouTube channel about the chakras that will be activated and feeling as if there's absolutely something going on. The last couple of days, there's absolutely something going on within me. So I know that there's a huge DNA activation going on because I did have that purge I talked about last week from my video, and why everything leads to one another. So that's why when you do those things that feel right for you, it means something for you. It's a pure heart alignment for you. And sometimes you don't know until after it's done and say, wow, that was really glad. I'm glad I did that. I feel better. I feel that my voice was very firm in who I was. And I went through that evolutionary process. And that's the navigation. You know, the navigation is you integrating those parts of yourself, those fragmented parts that didn't think you could do it, but you did. You were questioning yourself on that because that's what your whole experience was. Everybody questioning you because your perspectives are so unique. Your perspectives and your future telling and your portending are so out there that others aren't caught up yet. And so that puts a misbelief and a disbelief on projections on you because they're not there consciously. They're not there within their expansive mind thought because they're up in the monkey mind as opposed to the spiritual mind, which is the allowance of spirit through all things, and everything is possible, everything is infinite. That's why a 3D astronomer is going to see something very different than a 5D astronomer that's fully awakened with their third eye and their galactic third eye. They're going to end up seeing things because their consciousness has trained more to see the infinite. We can see versions of our 5D reality, and what version of your reality can you start imagining? Can you imagining communal experiences where there's light ships and there's temple engagements and there's temple healings, where the celestial friends and families we're starting to see within our galactic eyes because they're present in our family of one? Can we see that we're using the biosphere in a very honoring and sacred way and receiving information and wisdoms and intellect, and also other lifetimes that we've learned and we've gained from the planet? And so part of the activations that this really profound shift is going on is going to help those really tune into their bodies. So as you can tell, I just gave you an example of my own personal life. When I put out that video, the next couple of days after that, I did a lot of purging because it was just coming to terms in that reflection, the levels and the ways in which I was abused and taken advantage of. And you have to process those experiences. Remember, what we've talked about is discerning and understanding what alchemy is, and everything that's held in your chakras or your field as an experiential being. You still have to process the experiences. That's why healing is not an overnight thing. Being a part and being aware and really taking claim of your own ascension path helps you understand the processes, helps you understand when you're purging, helps you understand when you're releasing, helps you understand when you're going through a really big release in your energy fields, in your emotional fields, in your spiritual fields, because you have to alchemize those energies. You have to go from a 3D state to a 4 or 5D state. The 4D state is the emotional realm through which you're creating those emotional releases to accept and acknowledge and move the energy of so much abuse, because it's held as an experience. So you've got to change that experience. And that experience is held vibrationally, suppressed or depressed, and sometimes even forgotten. It's not necessarily a lower subconscious unless you're healing an inner child wound, because those inner child wounds are held from your childhood or other lifetimes. So it is, if you will, a past experience. But your traumas in this now, and when you're awake and current of it, for my case, I was awakened when I was going through a lot of those abuses. And they were experiences that were held in my field just because of the amount of of projections and traumas that were pressed at me, one person pressed with all of this darkness and hate. And so those energies have to be transmuted, and spirit is helping me with that. And I'm doing my work every day in that, but I still have to process the processing is a multidimensional experience. And so I go through more of that in my fourth book, about understanding what processing is really about and integrating. Processing is just allowing those energies to move through you, through the experiences, not sticking to the stories, but just allowing yourself to acknowledge, accept, and allow what has happened. That's how you make peace with it. To make peace with the acceptance that those that you thought you cared for and trusted abused you and abused your kindness and abused your energy, abused your information, whatever way that abuse was, call it what it is. Many of us over time, because we are such kind people and healers, we give people chances and chances and chances, and we don't really hold them accountable. And so too many people don't hold them accountable, because they end up getting away with a lot of their ways of getting what they want, taking what they want, manipulating situations and narratives, abusing their title, abusing their authority, if you will. And the placings that they have in the community and the placings that they have with others, and they use them to their benefit so that they can receive. And then when you do stand up for yourself, you end up, feeling punished because of the other tactics that they use to make sure that you don't receive, to make sure that you won't speak out, to make sure that you won't stand firm in who you are, and the projections and the stories that are then impaled on you to make you look even less credible, to make you look even less true, when you're the only one that's really standing in truth. And that's why maintaining that standing in your truth really presents that light and truth for those that are not. And eventually it will crumble. For me, it was a matter of, 3 years in which my same story was my story, and I had to process and transmute all of the hate and the harm, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, energetic, etheric. All of those were the multidimensional processings that were sitting in my multidimensional fields, that I have to sit and I reflect and I observe, and I will see my side, everybody's side, and then I get input from the teams. What actually went on there? What timelines were those connected to, and why did I have to go through that? So that you can make peace with it. And that's doing the work. That's doing the work that is needed to be done, because that's the only way you alchemize it and move those energies. That's why you have those releases. When you're doing the work, you can take one story, for example, the abuse of information. Why was my information taken? Why was my name used fraudulently? Why would anybody sign my name? And you have to take that one abuse and you have to look at it physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically, spiritually. How was that taken from you, and how can you reclaim that back? And then you write it out on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. How do I feel about it now? Well, I feel really good. I'm letting that go. I'm making peace with it. So there is a process of multidimensional processing. I'm processing what has occurred. I'm going to start integrating new beliefs now. Well, I'm stronger in myself, and I know that when I do see things that are wrong, and I know that there's red flags, there's spirits showing me, I'm feeling the insecurities, I'm feeling the red flags, I'm seeing them, I'm getting these signs and symbols. I absolutely am standing in my truth. I know who I am. Just like a mother knows when the child is in need. The mother knows. Mother knows what she's doing. A mother knows what she knows. And it's always intuitive. And those are the intuitive bodies that will be your only alliance. You'll trust when you're getting those red flags and you're listening and tuning in and intuiting what anybody says before you. And you can see through the deceptions and the lies, because they're just masks and veils, even if they're the best shapeshifters, even if they are the best manipulators or warlocks or whatever they are presenting themselves to be, because many can present themselves as many different things. And that's why they wear the many masks, because they know they can do it. They've had a long time at practicing how to deceive people. And so those are ways in which you can navigate around with really great confidence, because you've done the work. You've seen it from all of those steps and angles and phases. So then you can navigate around more quickly and with greater confidence, because your bodies are changing as Gaia is changing. As Gaia levels up with her energies, your energies of your bodies is going to feel different. How I mentioned it in my my writing post on the YouTube. So you can go and read that if you want. For women, it's important for women, because I'm being a woman, I can tell you how I feel. It feels similar to menstrual symptoms in your cycle, because every woman experiences things differently based on how flowing their energies are. and how you're keeping in tune and connected with your body. Your menstrual body is intuitive because it's linked right with the gravity magnetic forces of the planet. It's a magnetic process. It's an intuitive process. When you're intuiting anything, it's a magnetic. When a psychic is empathing and an empath is tuning in, it's a magnetic experience because you're feeling into the little pockets in the field. You're tuning into the pockets of the field and you can read whatever that magnetic is. So psychic and intuitiveness is magnetics. And you're allowing yourself to just simply allow how spirit within you is speaking to the spirit. Remember, the God within me is the God within you. You're intuiting what you're sensing, what you're feeling, and what you're knowing, and practicing it is how your body is changing to the ever quickening, ever heightening magnetics of the planet. So you will feel it first in your lower two chakras and in your organs, just cleansing and clearing out those highly traumatized areas. If you've had sexual abuse, if you've had any wounds that you have not healed, that you know of or don't know of, just tune in a couple of days a week to do that lower chakra organ clearing, doing any metal fasting, so that you can allow yourself to cleanse and clear certain metals that are in your body. Or you can have tune in with Gaia on what crystals, if you go to a crystal store, what tools and what metaphysical tools that you can use to place on your chakra areas that can help release those energies. I know smoky quartz is a crystal that I use. It's a really powerful crystal for cleansing and healing and protection. I've got a beautiful little smoky quartz bracelet. They're so gorgeous. And it's a really powerful crystal to protect against negativities. It pulls out any negative energies, and it's a great protector stone. And they're used in a lot of different healing ways. So tune in what crystal works best for you. Your guides will give you those crystals that are best for you at any given moment. And know that what they told me too is that as our planet changes, so too will the properties and the constituents of the crystals, because as Gaia is changing her magnetics and her energies, because it's a field, the field of love, the field of Gaia, how she's been operating is over giving herself to keep the balance of humanity, because the balance on humanity has been so out of balance. The divine feminine has been so depleted, so suppressed, so discriminated. And that's how Gaia is, because she is the daughter of the galaxy. So she's been so depleted, and why 2012 was the outer ascension plan for extra help. Her alliance with light was activated in 2012 to really bring in more of a universal approach to help humanity raise its consciousness, because Gaia was in a negative imbalance. She's a powerful intuitive being. Gaia is intuitive and psychic. So her psychic gifts and her psychic changing and upgrading and all the things that she goes through in her ascension plan will directly reflect all of the properties that she is, i.e. the flora fauna, the medicinal properties that we have within the flora fauna, how we naturopathically heal. Our intentions with those properties will be absolutely changing very rapidly, very quickly. So that's why teachers and healers and masters are being really recommended as much as possible work with Gaia immediately because it's changing dramatically. The fields and the grids are also changing the properties of our crystals. And so I just thought I'd be a little bit bringing on a bit of a fun thing here. These are my favorite metaphysical tools, just a couple of them. I have boxes and boxes of things that I have my favorite things, if you will, metaphysical tools that you can use to help you become more connected with Gaia, connected with your body. What tools work for you? So play with the different tools. A few good housekeeping tips for metaphysical tools. Cleanse your crystals regularly through cold water, just affirming and intending, and do it on a regular basis, once a week at least. Of the crystals you use all the time, they should be cleansed regularly. When you see a crystal that has lost its color and its luster, place it back into the earth with a little gratitude ceremony. It comes from the earth, and it can be rehealed and rebalanced and brought back to new for somebody else to use down the road. But Gaia will nourish it back to its regular luster. And again, with the grids and all of our energies changing, our collective energy changing, our consciousness changing, assist in the flora fauna, because we all work as one. The collective consciousness, the flora fauna, the forest, Gaia, all of those energies work as one, harmonizing to create the better flora fauna, to create the better crystals. So again, it's a one-in-one active, it's micro macro. And so your crystals, sometimes my friends will come and ask me to, to go to a crystal store with them, and I help select crystals and help show them. There's many crystal stores out there. Not all crystals are the same in quality. And I say quality in that because they're so, they're so mined for nowadays. I mean, it's good to know where you get your crystals, or the people that you buy them from, do they know where they get the crystals from, and really have it done in an authentic, higher vibrational way. So the people that truly love what they do, they're putting that energy and that love into the products. Ask where they get their products, who and where do they get their crystals from? Is it done ethically? So ask the questions when you're in the crystal store, and then you'll know by those that are presenting them to you. Do they know what they're talking about? Are they getting them from a third or fourth party? And this is where we're going to be building greater integrity with our metaphysical gifts and tools. And once you find a good crystal store, then continue that rapport and continue to ask questions. Right? You want to make sure that the people are just as in love with the crystals as you are buying them, because then you'll receive that natural flowing energy, because it all affects the all. So this is a rose quartz, and these are usually used for healing. They're a great crystal that enhances love, self-love. And these are sometimes used in the bedroom to enhance communicatory, loving conversations that you have with your partners and mates. And these can be used in any way that you intend to use with your meditations. You can put them on your heart chakra. You can put them on your third eye. You can use crystals in this way. And I suggest that you do, because I just love working with crystals. And I also have many of them in my car, and however I travel, I carry crystals with me. So rose quartz is a really beautiful crystal, because it just aligns you and it reminds you of unconditional love and the speaking of unconditional love. So rose quartz is a really great crystal. And if you have one that's more like, like a pillar, you can use them to pinpoint different areas on your body, and just touch gently with an intention, just to release any densities, or it's kind of like an acupuncture, and just releasing tension points that you might have, or just little pulls, or just using them really, really gently with an intention, and have your teams assist you in moving the energy. So you can really work with greater intention and affirmation when you're feeling confident that these crystals are working with you. Set the intention with the crystal, clear them and cleanse them, frequently. Usually you can do it with kosher salt, and just let them sit in kosher salt, I say overnight. Really good if you're using crystals like the smoky quartz. These crystals assist in, usually crystal quartz, you can see they're slightly semi-opaque, so you can kind of see through them. That's how you know you get a great smoky quartz, because you can kind of see through it when you're using it in certain angles, and you don't want them. It's not like obsidian. Obsidian are very shiny, but you cannot see through them. These you can, there is some they're kind of opaque. They're kind of slightly. And that's how you know you get a good smoky quartz. A very powerful crystal. I love that working with smoky quartz. They're so, it's like a loving best friend that you didn't know you had, and you just want to keep speaking with it. And that's how crystals want to make you feel, come and play. And using them with benevolence and love, always, because the crystals are a representation of your energy, and they'll speak with you as you speak with them, and use them with respect and honor, because it's Gaia. Gaia's living energy is the crystal. Gaia does not separate from our crystal, just like we don't separate from God. We're all one, acting in the oneness of who we are, and why crystals are so powerful to use with your healing and your intentions. So again, kosher salt can be used, leave them overnight. These ones, like the smoky quartz, any of the obsidian, smoky quartz, any of the darker opaque crystals, use them and set them in the moon, like full moons and new moons. Have them sit overnight in a beautiful little, put them in a ceremony. You can sit them in, always go to the beach and get some shells. And this one still has sand in it. I like bringing home a little bit of the beach. And then just have them sit, your crystals, just sit in, and then place it out on the, if you have a patio ledge, and just sit it out on the patio ledge and have the full moon energies, and just set an intention, and put a little flower out there as, a little offering for Gaia and for your ancestors and for the fairies and the elementals to help bless those crystals. And so when you start treating life with sacredness, it becomes that sacred experience, and you get more into the engagement of sacredness, because you're intending it. As you are, so it too it is. So again, it's how you intend, how you move about life. And so too is anything. Those that intend sacredness receive sacredness. Those that work within sacredness receive it. It's just that reciprocation. And crystals would do that. You can also clear crystals with, again, cold water as you're affirming it and cleansing it with your own intention and asking the healing angels and any elementals or fairies that want to help in cleansing those crystals. If you've used them for like if you had a huge purge, dark night of the soul, you'd want to have a bit of a more cleansing experience and ceremony. Sometimes you can, if you do have a very beautiful garden and your garden is producing great fruit, put your crystals in the dirt for a little bit over a full moon cycle, and then you can unearth them again and then cleanse them and then use them that way. Those are also good ideas for your crystals. Another metaphysical tool is the evil eye, and the evil eye is just a protective intention that is set. So any metaphysical tool that you use, set it with your own intentions. I intend to use this tool to assist me in the warding off of any negative energies, spells or curses or hexes. When spells and curses and hexes, we talk about that. Those are also things that have been brought forward through us, to us, and with us through karma and through lineages. And sometimes because of the games and the wars and all of the things that we're healing multidimensionally, multi-universally, they're within the collective in and of itself, because they're just the energies we're all transmuting. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to get yourself up in knots with, and you don't need to go seeking or searching who's doing hexes or spells. You'll know just because you've had blockages in manifesting money, blockages in manifesting real love, manifesting good health. All of those are just versions of imprints of beliefs and limitations and fears that your lineage or your family has said they're going to come and transcend. And some of them were specific in different trials of energy manipulation through our times, have stuck to those lineages. So what I do every night is I just do a release of any negative energies, curses, and hexes from my lineage. And then I just do an intention, and you can hold whatever crystal, and you can put your crystal on your heart chakra, on your throat chakra. If you have people that are sending negative energy to any of your chakras, you can use them on whatever chakra you want to do an intention and just clear. And I do this when I'm laying down so the crystals can just stay on the chakras. And then you just do an intentional clear. And you clear those energies, you clear those hexes, you clear those, and then transmute and move the energy back to source. And your healing teams are there the second you ask for it. Just intend. These are blocks healed now. Your intention moves that energy, because you're like that proton that can move through solid. That proton can move right through it because it just knows itself on the other side of it. So see yourself already releasing all hexes and curses. There are no more blocks. You're free and you're liberated. So again, nothing has control over you, regardless of what comes with it. That is in and of the same if you've been told or if you've had any genetic illnesses or diseases in your family. See yourself as that proton that goes to the other side of it and it's already healed. So you have absolute honoring, control, and sacredness with everything that you are multidimensionally. So the evil eye is really good. And then also you'll see white sage. And the sage comes in many different types and forms. And if you're in a metaphysical store and you have a good metaphysical store that you go to, if you do buy these online, ensure where you're getting it from, because again, you want to make sure it's ethically and environmentally done, that from people that care and from people that have the same intentional energy. They love packing sage. There's many beautiful shamanic women, many shamanic men that have come from tribes, a lot of Aboriginal native tribes. These are how they make their income and support their tribes and their communities. So when I buy sage, I always ask, how is it packed? You know how it's packed and who packed it. So they'll tell you. And so just know that. And I always smell them. You can smell a beautiful, rich, fresh sage. If you smell and you can hardly smell anything, then you know it's an aged sage and it's usually been sitting there for quite a while. And so they're usually not selling because of either quality is not that good, or again, it's ethically not done because they're mass produced and they're not wrapped and looked after with sacredness. So again, everything is your intention to find sacred materials, your intention to be one with Gaia and how she offers her herbs for us to clear and cleanse. These work fabulously. You can clear energies. I suggest just doing it, lighting it and putting it under your orifice, your little orifices, in between your legs, underneath your feet, because there's energies that are sent to you and directed, and you're walking through crowds and there's not necessarily the most highly intentioned people. Many of them have many illnesses and imbalances, and their minds are stuck in very negative cycles and patterns. And when they're seeing you and, looking and gazing and oogling at you, those negative energies are in your fields. Or if too, you've had sexual trauma that you have not cleared. So those are just ways to help clear the sexual innuendos, the discrimination, the subjugation, all the things that women move through as far as how we look and how we feel about ourselves, and just using sage to clear those energies and clear those intentions. Anything that you've been sent sexually, depraved, immoral, all of those things, they add into the field, and it's up to each person to begin to learn how to clear, because you'll know when you're sensing into it and feeling it. And even just breathing it helps you clear. So essential oils are really good that way too. So investigate and research. What I found out too is that not all essential sprays are the same. There's many that I've heard. I think I bought one in which how it was packed was not what it was on the inside. So really seek out, where are they coming from? Do the people know how it's packaged? And are there reviews of good quality if you're doing online shopping? So just make sure of that, because you're going to get what you get. If you're buying it from somebody that doesn't give a crap, you're going to get those type of energies in that crystal or in the packaging. So just know that. And again, it's about discerning too, the videos that you're watching. Is that offering me really great advice? Am I going to be lots of value there? There's a lot of value added in all of our videos. We add so much information that's just not out there. We add so much on the levels and the layers that you're able to tap into and use them in your own unique ways. We always empower and inspire you to use it from within. How are you uniquely guided? How are you uniquely inspired? How can you uniquely tap into Gaia? Because each and every one of you have different and unique gifts, and I know that because I do. So I want to empower everybody to reclaim who they are as unique beings and really play with the tools that Gaia offers us, because they're so beautiful. When you tap into anything, those of you that are clairaudient, if you will, you can take any Gaia tool and tune into it and ask for a message, because Gaia's tools have so much wisdom and information, especially if it comes from the ocean. There's access to all that is Gaia. And by doing your own work, practicing in your own way, you're allowing yourself to really be one with Gaia. And those are the new energies that she is moving through. Your body will reciprocate and know that, wow, Gaia is going through some stuff, because I just had my lower 2 chakras feel like they're really being activated, and you have those menstrual symptoms, that you don't have a cycle. So just all of those things are knowing that your body is changing. Women will find that they're gaining a bit of weight. They're becoming more voluptuous. We're wanting to bring in those beautiful divine feminine bodies, because it's going to make us reflect on the social norms, the social conformity, and the roles and definitions and expectations and obligations that we're all transforming. We don't necessarily, and we've seen a big change over the last 10 years about women and how they're projected to look, and how they're, especially the entertainment business, how we're fed and force fed all of our expectations and beauty and age and all of those things that discriminate and place us in less than. And it's really ridiculous. So that's come to a big changing transition for everybody. And Gaia is a big healer of that. We're meant to be perfect in any and all phases of our body. Allow those phases of change and transformation to be a part of your path and journey. Don't wish it away. Don't hate your body and have the negative self-talk that's constant in our collective, especially about how you look and how you feel. But you're in charge of clearing that. Say, wow, I really love my curves today. And really play with that divine feminine change and altering, because every step of your journey is sacred. Don't have an ideal expectation of how you want yourself to look. Enjoy every moment. And then affirm, I'm perfect in the body weight that I'm meant to be. And then know that your body is smart enough to seek that perfect weight. And then you'll have those initiations and those synchronicities of getting up and moving, of eating healthier. So just expect that your body is smart. Expect that you're projecting smart energy to your cells. You are a dynamic, multidimensional being. So expect that you're sending loving, portending intelligence to your cells, to your field. Portend it already. I am healthy. I am youthful. I am divine, and my body knows what it will want to do. My body knows when to pull back. My body knows when to give energy. My body knows when to rest. I trust that. My body knows when it's telling me something is wrong. I know that. Portend physical, mental, emotional, spiritual excellence. Portend it. Affirm it. Intend it. use the metaphysical tools to help you navigate and create it. Another metaphysical tool, you can get these at the dollar store. And you can also get these at, yes, I did. I got this at the dollar store. I think it was $3.50. And it's a little tiny art palette. And they have lots of different colors. And these are good for many different things. You can use any one of these. I use them for my light language activations. And these light language activations are unique to every day and every time I create them. They change over time because that's light language. You can put affirmations. If you practice doodling light language, practice doodling your affirmations for the day. Use it in conjunction with your journaling. And just put affirmations and put it under your water or your water bottle. You can even tape it to your water bottle and have that intention live through the alchemy of the water itself. Water is very brilliant. If you read any of the books about the intelligence of water and the affirmations that we give our water, is alchemically becoming the constituents of our water bodies, which is everything that is the Holy Christ. The Holy Christ is the water body. And the Christ Metatronic water body. We are active in our intuitiveness through the water body, through the water of all that we are. So water is a very paramount experience that you can begin to play and love and honor, and really sacredly, again, your intention of sacredness. Have fun being sacred, have fun empowering sacredness, have fun getting your family to get connected with how sacred we are with everything. When you intend and know that you are connected to all things, it equally vibrates that connection. So anything that you want to manifest, absolutely know you're already connected with it, entwined and entangled, loving it. If it's done in a disrespectful manner, that is when you leave yourself open to other entities, energies, parasites that come in through those portals. For instance, there are entities that have specific roles, just like angels have roles. The angel of truth, the angel of protection, the angel of children. All of these angels have their roles, and they've come many, many lifetimes in honor and earning those navigations of experience, exploration, and expression. All those angels, that's the soul's experience, and every angel has those constituent contracts, if you will, that they want to explore and be a part of. So too do the demons and the entities. There's no judgment on any of them. They help us evolve into who we are. As you're moving through your story of you, and if you've come from a very abusive background, and those are the contracts you've chosen to take on because you can, if you've had a really tough, challenging lifetime, you have an equally powerful way to move through them. So just know that. God would never, ever give you something you cannot work through. It's always an equal opportunity. Everything in the universe is equal. If you have one side, you have the other. And those that stand before you show you. They show you the mirror of the shadow. They show you the mirror of the positive light. And so there's entities that are connected with energies of, on our planet, lack of self, because we've never been taught how to redirect the sense of self. So there'll be entities and demons. We call them demons. They're just names. They're just energy beings that link to the grander programs of controlling energy. It's just all about energy is a resource. It's a commodity. And there's beings that play within those commodities, just like a business. And it's used by competition, control. Then they create pyramids programs and bidding and all of those sacrificial things. They're all false. It's all an illusion. But that's how they play with energy. If they don't want to nourish themselves through the source creator, everybody has access to source creator. Source creator is your knowing and your being and your living and your intending of source light. Source light nourishes all aspects of life. Eventually, we will become breatharians, where we don't need food because we're accessing the highest amount of light that we need to maintain our bodies, sustain our bodies, and ascend. But in the meantime, any belief that you have about your core body matter, that matter vibrates an energy. So whether it's lack of self, whether it's not accepting of the self, whether it's the lack of control one has for itself and the discipline one has for itself is weak. There's no will there to keep oneself in alignment with spirit. So those weak wills, which are usually the 7 beliefs that we have of the destruction of who we are as spirit, greed, gluttony, jealousy, envy, all of those experiences, all of those belief patterns of low vibrational belief and fear They then want you to feel controlling in some sort of way. So they seek outer experiences to control the environment, to control the people, if you will. Anybody that's been in a controlling relationship knows that's not healthy, not okay there. But there's a safety issue there. Control is usually down to safety. It's a fear. It's a fear because there's no safety. So there's always, again, it's the equal opposite. So in that, there's entities that say, okay, let's go to that person. They're in the whole realm of control. They're projecting and they're trading and, treating people, based on these beliefs of control. And so these entities, and depending on how you treat your body, the physical body, your mental body, your spiritual body, especially if you're in cults of low vibrational, harmful, negative, toxic, satanic, demonic, all of those energies, you're leaving your vessel open for any type of entity to come in and attach itself to you, to any one of your chakras, to any part of your fields or your bodies. Those entity attachments are there very purposefully. You've chosen to, at the highest level, to agree to that. Same goes to if you are in a multiple or polyamorous experience and you're not healed, those that you're with are not healed, and you're exploring that, which is fine, but you need to do it in a way that's responsible and that everybody is accountable. That's how you know you're going to be in a more positive experience of exploring polyamorous, when everybody, there, you can also be in situations where everybody can say, yeah, because you all want to explore it, but still the work's not being done. Because you're exchanging your life force and your energy, whatever entity that person has, whatever lower vibrational belief that person has and not worked through, they're sharing and exchanging it with everybody they deal with. And so it becomes a communal entity. That entity just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, especially if it's in groups and covens that they want to control certain energies, titles, superficiality, because that's the lower chakras. So that's when those types of experiences and programs start to occur. And then you'll see the behavior, you'll see the gaming, you'll see the underground corruption. So it's all spawned from those types of activities and behaviors. They're all very healable, all of it. But those entities will then, it's like a demon, a grander, darker energy, that entity that speaks through them and then starts to play on the weaknesses of that being, because that's what the choice was. That demon came in to show that person, you have a belief here. So it's very purposeful, but most often than not, they're just working fear, and they have these demons continually want to feed energy. How they feed energy is by empowering and inspiring that person directly into its darkest place, by controlling and hurting and harming others, because there's a wound of being harmed. So it's just that juxtaposition, and it's that equal opportunity. It's showing you, that demon is showing you, what is that demon of? Is it the demon of gluttony? Taking, can't get enough? Is it, that's the lack of self. You cannot feed that wound. And that's where you got to go to that deep psychological, spiritual, multidimensional healing. All of this can be healed, but there's demons and entities that attach because those are the beliefs that that person is allowed and chosen. But when you're also in a group sex experience, and there's been experiences in the past where those that have, known and understood energy, and wherever these people are that choose to do these things, they're the ones of the entity, usually kingpin or, queenpin, that the entity and demon is working through that person. And then they find their bidders. They find the ones that they can recruit and do their work. Go out and find vulnerable people, go out and seek this, and then they get paid for it. It's an underground thing where they're using people and energy and vulnerabilities to feed the entity, if you will. That entity can be a business. That entity can be a corporation used very corruptively. And there's many people in the system that get paid for the continuation of the use of the corruption. So it's a very thick threaded experience. Those entities are feeding whatever that 7 beliefs of fear is. Gluttony, not enough. Jealous and envy, I'm not enough. I haven't defined myself. I have no sense of self. If you're feeling self-love and you've aligned yourself and you've designed yourself and you've rewritten yourself, you wouldn't fall into those types of situations because you're not vulnerable. You absolutely are standing in your power. You're standing in your truth. No. That's your story. That ain't mine. Bye. Out you go. It's okay that they're there, but you don't have to ever feel vulnerable or fearful. This is where claiming your power, rewriting yourself as a fully operative divine being, you're not going to be giving your power, your energy away. You're not going to be stolen from, corrupted, schemed, scammed, all of those things that I was. That's how come I can teach what I teach. Kind of learned my lesson the hard way. Stolen from and taken from in every way vibrationally possible. The ones that I saw into, which were, again, the processing, how to process that. And it's no different. It was very valuable that I did that, because there's many children and people that are sexually trafficked that have to heal and that really want to heal. And that's why, again, that's part of that I had to balance, because there's people that I could have healed over the last couple of years. I could have reached a lot of people, but my path was delayed and held back because these nefarious, corrupt people wanted to play. And how dare I have a life of my own? How dare they? And they just wanted to keep me enslaved so they could keep harvesting my life and keep harvesting my work while I had absolutely not even a penny. They thought it was a big joke. But now all of their karma is coming back, because there's that, the change that we talked about 3 months ago is now in effect. And so now they're seeing what we've been talking about for 5 years. It's universal laws that are quickening. 3 months, get off the fence here. There are universal laws. And thus far, you've been protected because you have that learning process, the playground, learning how to be in the playground. So our channel, as the guide said, the Sesame Street of higher vibrational living. There are universal laws. There are the equal opportunities of choices that anyone can navigate. You have free will, but you don't have to necessarily continue to act and behave in harm. Heal thy wounds so they don't become another's. Because sexually trafficking, sexually abusing children, any of the traumas that are now seen in most of the narcissistic environments, they are those types of wounds. Trafficked, harmed, sexually abused. It's not their fault. And that's the not my fault disorder. And that's not my my fault disorder, just continuous cycles of not my fault. We have to approach that at the core of the wounds. And it's a social wound of not being connected with spirit. Every single thing that I've talked about is the disconnection of spirit. We are divine, sacred light. Every moment we are alchemizing. Past, present, future is now. Now. There is always going to be polarity. There's always going to be energies that we have to navigate. The more aware and aligned you are, you can navigate in and around any energy that is being offered to you. You can navigate around it. You're the alchemizer. But if you're not solid and firm in who you are with God, know thyself, then you're not going to alchemize. You're going to still have those entity attachments, and they're going to drive you into destruction, self-destruction. Diseases, disorders, mental imbalances, mental violence, physical violence, sexual violence, all of those things, they're healable. They are wounds, they are entities, they are attachments, they are parasites, and it is all about energy. What you intend returns. It is you. It's intending you. Whether you're a spellcaster or not, it is intention, is the intention of you. You're saying it, you're living it, you're the intender of it, and it will return. So that's why the self-love process, and if you're choosing to explore polyamorous, if you're choosing to explore those types of sexual debaucheries, have your time exploring it if that's truly what you want and that's what you've come to experience. Do it in a responsible way. I'm not sure how you can, because it's your sexual life force is your most precious experience. And if you're using it in a debaucherous experience, not caring about it, not respecting it, not honoring it, you're opening up your whole multidimensional experience to be used, abused, and have entities all over it. That's why the pornography world is such a dark realm. It's a very dark realm. A lot of entities floating around there. Because there's no respect for the body. There's no respect for the physical well-being. There's no respect for the spiritual well-being. There's no respect for life force. It's seen as degradation to women and humanity and spirit. To use and abuse the sexual life force. To use it as a commodity for payments. To use it as a commodity to make a lot of money, billion-dollar businesses. Why there is the black web? Why is there? Why is that a thing? Because there's a lot of money being made off corruptive ways. Why is that a thing? That's the total detachment, where there's such a lack of self that there's now dark corruptions making billions of dollars a year that could feed the entire world 10 times over. Why is that a thing? Why is it so important to have, to greed, to envy, to jut, to all of these gluttonous, competitive types of things? Why is that a thing? Because we're not knowing who we are. When you're connecting yourself with spirit, it has nothing to do with religion. You are rebuilding yourself as an essence of divine sacredness. You're precious. Then you would never, ever want to sell your body or your soul, because you got to clear that karma. Why did I choose to do that? Why were those beliefs about my body so less than, so abhorrent? No, I want to have a precious self experience now. I want to clear my body. I want to clear my fields. A lot of healing is going to be needed. Corrupt systems aren't necessary. They're there because we're all turning a blind eye to it. You don't have to spend billions of dollars on these systems. Seers and light workers can see right through it. And we've got healing tools to heal it. And then we're kept off of that experience to sharing those experiences because there's those that make a lot of money off corruption. And they don't want to have to face what they've created. And that's why there's been those deviations and those experiences of the continuous derailing, because there's a lot of people making a lot of money. And once the truth is out there, people can then choose, no, I'm going to claim my power back. I'm going to reclaim my power. I want to be a part of this positive change on planet Earth, because I don't want to return to a timeline where I'm going to be one of those ones that's trafficked. I've had timelines like that. I can remember them and I can see them. And they're not fun. It's a complete degradation of the soul. When you give somebody permission to sacrifice in any way, giving your life force away, those sexual promiscuities, debaucheries, any of those things, you are selling parts of your soul and your spirit. You're giving that energy of you, you're giving those parts of you to other people, and they're using however they want. That's why when those people that are doing those things, and they do have entity attachment, they just have to keep seeking outer to keep feeding that energy. That's why they do turn to corruption and crime, because they have to feed that energy. That entity wants that energy. And that entity will keep getting meaner and meaner and meaner until that action is done. But knowing and navigating in and around that, you understand what's before you. How do you navigate around it? How do you see it for what it is? How do you bring truth to it? How do you bring light to it? How do you start creating systems in our social ways in our homes that say, no, my children absolutely are standing in their truth. We're going to help teach our children about the energy. We're going to teach children about their multidimensional bodies, how to speak and tune into their chakras, how to speak and tune into their intuitions, that when somebody's trying to manipulate them and deceive them, have them come in a car with them, then we absolutely know, no, you're not gonna. This is my story, not yours. They won't even attract such beings. But in the meantime, there's a lot of education that needs to come out, because we've never been taught and told that we are multidimensional beings. We are in charge of our consciousness. We can create healthy, beautiful systems, and our voices do matter. And we can stand in pride and glory and knowing that spirit will align with us, meet us equally. Always. Spirit will always meet us equally. That is a promise. That is a promise. That is hope. That is divine, divine sacredness and preciousness for all that is life. And let nobody tell you different. There is beautiful, beautiful balance, and we are in absolute accessibility to it all. That's spirit. And so the metaphysical tools help you. They help guide you and help you tune into the various aspects of how you can tune into energy, how you can tune into the things that are going on in the collective without judging it, and knowing how you can create systems to navigate in and around it and help heal it. Because everybody will be needed to see what is there. We have to see what is there to heal it. And why? Why would we create that? Why would there be such a system of such debauchery? Why? Because it's a great way that people feed energy through corrupt ways. They're getting that energy, but they're sharing with a whole bunch of people, and there's a lot of demons and entities attached to it. That's why their bodies will create disease. STDs are things that they cannot get rid of, because it's directly allowing them to focus on what did they attract to themselves? What did they manifest? So again, it's not my fault. It is absolutely. You have to go back to how you chose that. Where is the belief that you held yourself so low that you had to manifest that? So face it. That's the shadow work. Face it and then help others with it. Wow, this is what I went through. This is how I can help you. I didn't think it was possible, but wow, spirit showed me through it. Spirit showed you through it. Use your life as a beautiful expression. That's how you reclaim your energy. That's how you reclaim your light. That's how you have true self-empowerment. True self-empowerment is doing the work. When you understand alchemy, I moved that energy. I wasn't in a good place then, but boy, look at me now. Watch me go. I'm just getting started. So know that's alchemy. That's where God wants you to meet what God knows of you. Yeah, I'm starting to be that spirit. I'm getting that. And also they show me overheard a conversation, and it's very purposeful because it was in alignment with what I was releasing that week, was about these certain music videos where they had women, on women on all fours and having them being collared and chained. And all of those are staunch, and why women are being projected in the music industry the way that they are. So you can see the absolute imbalance and discrimination, and how women, a woman artist, in any realm, whether it's country, rock, rap, it doesn't matter what the genre is. Any woman that comes forward as a singer and a songwriter has great, great gifts, how the proposed companies want them to be projected, as symbols, because it sells more, it makes more. Why is that a thing? You can be beautiful and gorgeous and love your body, but have it done in a sacred, honoring way. Not in a way where you've got, strings up your crack ass and you've got to get boob jobs and really show everything to have anything being sold or monumental as a title or as popular. And why is that a thing? Why would we just conform to a popular conformity that big boobs and G-strings are what makes a woman? Because it really isn't. And I'm here as a role model to say no. You can be beautiful in any age, any form, any shape, any size, and don't let anybody sell you their story. That is selling your spirit. That's selling your soul. And there will be karma. That's a lesson you got to learn. No, I'm not going to hand over my body or my rights to anybody. My body, my beauty is mine, and I'll do it through spirit. I can alchemize that. I can do anything I want. My body will be healthy and beautiful. And I'm not going to wear certain clothes just because it makes a entertainment company buy a CD because she's wearing next to nothing. Why do women have to be projected like that? Absolute discrimination. It's so blatant. It's in our faces so blatantly. The ageism for women in entertainment is finally being spoken about after how many years of film industry? Conservatory with Britney Spears. How okay was that? That was a big thing for women that she played a huge part in. How's that okay? That was no different than what happened to me, except there was no legal document that I gave anybody's rights to anybody. There was nothing that I gave or gave permission to or permission on any level with anybody, but they just chose to create the assumption and the stories and the narratives and their schemes and their doppelganging to create whatever signatures and stories they wanted to back up their narrative. So there was no permissions at all given in any level, in any stage of the expression of anybody I knew. And yet there was still taking and stealing. And then when I did stand up for myself, it was like, oh my God, how dare I? And then the punishment began and the spells got even worse. Their goal was to have me not be here so that they can continue running their business off of my work and continue doing their schemes and their scamming and taking from me and using my light, using my energy, and switch destinies, as ridiculous as that sounds. That's the depths of how silly that all was, not understanding anything to do about energy and laws and Akash and very sacred lineages and very sacred timelines. And there's absolute disconnection on why that would even be a thing that you could even consider. Crosses so many spiritual, physical laws. That's interference on every vibrational level. And it's so, 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 so wrong. And I had to process all of that. I had to process it. It's in the field of the abuse and the discrimination of taking divine feminine's energy and abusing it and using it, and then going to the children and abusing it and using it. Trafficking of children. Why is that a thing? It's absolute abuse of pure sacred life force energy. And it comes from those woundings that are healable. Anything that is out there today that is degrading, deconstructing humanity on every spiritual level, these are so degrading. They are all healable, and everyone is accountable. Everyone is accountable. And in the smallest, most profound, subtle ways, you will feel yourself transforming. You are transforming to sacredness and preciousness, self-value, self-worth, self-importance, self-respect. When you absolutely are in your reality and you see women being degraded and you see women being mistreated and you see yourself being degraded and mistreated and you see the projections of women dressing like nothing is there, and yet they're trouncing their bodies all over the place to get attention, to be seen, to be heard. That is discrimination on every level. That the only way we are heard is if we show absolutely everything, and there's zero intellect there that matches it. Why is that a thing? Because you're playing into those demonic intentions and imprints of the low vibrational, degradation, misogynistic beliefs about women. Again, the Adam Eve project. And we are changing that. And I remember there was a beautiful, on my social platform, there was somebody had released a record, and I was looking at the various shots they chose for these different record labels of this one artist. And there was basically, they were wearing barely nothing, strings and little stickers. And I just thought, why is that? You're producing and you're promoting yourself as an artist, but nothing on that says art, besides the sexual throwing in your face. I'm a sexual creature. That's all that it was showing. That's the energy I saw of that image. I'm throwing myself as a sexual tool. And that's fine for one experience, but that's not all you are. And why would we want to keep projecting that as an imprint over and over and over? Thousands of artists that are women, that's the same image that is being projected. How are we okay with that? And our children at the age of 8 and 9 are wearing little tiny bras and half shirts. So they're getting used to seeing children showing their bodies at the youngest of ages. How's that okay? Without any concept that they're even doing it. It's an unconscious imprint. And it becomes a trend. Do you see what we're saying? I'm bringing these forward, and every single one of you watching right now, see it in your reality. And it's up to each and every one of us to level up the self-love, the self-value, and the integrity. Ask questions. Why do you want to show yourself that way? Well, because it's trendy and I get people to look at me. Okay, well, does that show who you are? What about what you feel? What about what you create? What about how you express yourself? What about how you experience in your body? How are you the 3 E's? Can we return it back to spiritual importance? Can we turn it back to who you are as spirit? Can we turn it back to who you are with the earth? Can we turn it back to who you are as a beautiful intuitive and a medium? How about we turn it back to what's really important? We're shifting the whole paradigm. Make no mistake about it, I'm just getting started. And it's a big, big wave. Make no mistake about that. Gaia is the divine mother of our galaxy, and her voice has not been heard. Divine feminine, girls, youth, young women, our voices are important, and we're truly, truly valuable and sacred. So go within and do your reflection over the next little while, because we're going to be coming up on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful season of the mother. It's just spring. We're creating that new birth. How can you look back and how can you see your reality in new ways? See women caring for their bodies. See women reaching out for self-care when they are feeling abused and taken advantage of. Be a part of those systems. Be a part of those offerings. Be a part of helping women to call in their energy and their light. To teach them about entity and energy attachment when they're continually hearing voices in their head to do bad things. And all of those things are a part of those entity attachments and why those crimes and corruptions are even a thing. And every community, I guarantee you, has it. It's a social experience that we are releasing the low vibrational lack of self because there's been no connection and self-design. That's all really it is. And we can heal that day by day. It's such a profound, intentional, divine experience that's multidimensional. It affects all of creation. To bring divine feminine back into the equal experience. We are profound healers. We are profound magicians of powerful healing capabilities without abusing any energies, without abusing any systems. Our alignment with spirit can bring us the highest inventiveness. It can bring us the highest portending of beautiful, abundant futures of our planet for everyone. Everyone will have food. Everyone will be wealthy in who they are as spirit. Diseases will be eradicated. We'll be able to live in light ships and move across the universe and galaxies. There's so much for us. We don't have to stay stuck in really steep, dark debauchery systems that only bring us and the whole collective down. It's okay, they're there, there's no judgment. But those are from wounds and everything can be healed. The amount of money spent on crime prevention can be done in different ways and heal it much quicker. Money spent on diseases and disorders and afflictions can be spent in a much better way and heal it before it gets started. We've looked at things as band-aids, and now we're going to go to the core. That is how profound this human collective wave is, and our channel is the only one talking about it. And that's, my friends, why I'm here. I am a messenger. I speak of great things. I speak of great hope and promise. I am the daughter of God, and I'm here for great things. I went through what I went through so that I could help humanity. It's not okay that we treat each other this way. We are heart-driven, heart-aligned beings of expansive, expansive light. We are connected with beings and celestials from all over every galaxy and universe. We have so much potential. If you are in a light ship, why would you stay in the same parking spot and continually see and feel as if there's nowhere for you to go? You're expansive. You're going to see this universe. You're going to know you're a part of everything in it. And to see things from every perspective and not judge it, it's okay. It's a part of Source Creator. It's all welcome. It's all okay. That's how you create acceptance, acknowledgement, and allowance that everything is everything. Now, how can we begin to create the healing and the neutrality so that everything can be a win-win and all are served? It's all possible. And those are the words of the day, dear lighted ones. We thank you so very much. Allow yourself to be really tuned in with Gaia and what she's there to offer you. She has great wisdoms. Your guides will assist you. Each and every one of you have a nature guide, and your nature guides are going to help you attune your body, help your body manifest greater processing and initiations and enhancements with light, so that your unique light body, everybody's light body is unique. Not one or two light bodies are the same in the same degree of potentiation. Everybody's light body is different because everybody's Akashic history is different. Everybody's DNA is different. Everything is different and unique, and that is purposeful. So why your unique design of you is meant just for you, and you and Spirit and God only know that. That's why it's so profound. There's so much self-worth. So adore yourself. Be loving of yourself. Start to feel excited about who you are every day. Wake up feeling excited about you every day. Why not? Never give your power away to another. Think twice and discern very, very greatly before you engage in such activities where you're giving away parts of your spirit and your soul, because it will affect you mentally, physically, and those diseases and disorders will eventually show itself to you so that you can go within and heal those wounds. How you feel about yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, physically, etherically, hold it in the fields. They're experiential pockets, and those pockets have to be moved. Those energies have to be moved and transmuted. That's alchemy. And if it's not transmuted, it will turn into a disease. And that's the karma that is allowed to show itself to you so you can go in and reflect to the very center of that disease. Why did I believe that's so? Everything has a purpose, so it's all purposeful. But if you don't want to go down that path, you don't have to. Everything can be healed. So it's up to you in spirit, dear lighted ones. Who are you? What do you exist within, and what exists within you? There's a lot of metaphysical tools, and with our accelerating energies, they're going to be working with you and right an alignment with you. And so know that there's so much support, there's so much help, and it's just a matter of you going within and start working with it. Seek it, and it will be before you. So just know that, dear lighted ones, we love you so, so very much. So do have a wonderful day. Do have a wonderful evening. Do your youth program. Start to create your own youth program. What are the intentions you want to work on the very first, and calling your healing teams at night to connect with spirit, to connect with how you're able to conquer and transcend any energies or beliefs that are in your physical, mental, emotional fields that are holding you back or blocking you from the highest optimization of your own health and wellness. And so we thank you, dear lighted ones, and we too truly, truly love Mother Gaia. Thank you, Mother Gaia, for allowing us to be a part of this beautiful divine program, and your support and loving grace with us as you feed us and you nurture us and you bathe us and cleanse us. And we thank you so very much, dear lighted ones. I love to be a part of your ascension life, and I love to be a part of whoever you are in every moment, because you are purposeful, you are precious, and you are very, very loved. And we do love you. You are beautiful children of the earth. This is Joanna signing off for another beautiful early morning Ascension show, and we love you so very much. Dear lighted ones, know that our information is below. If you ever wish a private session with me, clearing session, vocational alignment sessions, we do love you so much. And we wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy your evening. And send love and information, empowerment, encouragement to all children to love their bodies and love who they are, to take care of their bodies and love who they've come to show themselves and express themselves and experience themselves are. Have them have that grace and adoration for themselves so they don't feel the need to project the selling of the self and the selling of the body to be seen and heard. We should all be seen and we should all be heard because all voices matter. We love you, dear lighted ones. Bye.